Captain America. You've seen Captain America before, you know who he is, right? This is the 1966 animated version of Captain America that was on television, featured in the Marvel Superheroes show. I don't know that much about it. All I know is that Captain America was in there. They did little segments with each like Marvel hero and stuff. Captain America was in there. The Hulk was in there. Iron Man, Submariner, Thor as well. The Captain America segment, I had never seen this before. This contains two little short cartoons of Captain America. I guess each one's about 20 minutes maybe. Origin of Captain America and the Fantastic Origin of the Red Skull. So the first one, of course, is going to be the origin of Captain America. Plays out like similarly to the Captain America, the First Avenger movie. So the actual origin part is pretty close to that movie. Okay, let me just say that the animation in this is crude. It doesn't look terrible, but the movements and things are pretty minimal. It's a pretty... it's 1966, man. They made cartoons differently back then. It looks very close to the comic books. It's just, minimal movements in the characters. And like we see this again, the very next year with Spider-Man. Terrible animation and, goofy kids show. This, however, is not nearly as entertaining to me as the Spider-Man cartoon. It doesn't really give you a lot of background about Captain America. He's just a guy that comes in and, fights Nazis, I guess. And centers around Captain America and Bucky, I guess, during the war years. This would have been produced, I guess, around the time, maybe just a couple of years after Captain America reappeared in Marvel Comics, around Avengers number 4, number 3, number 4. Previously, of course, he came out during World War II. Then Stan Lee decided to bring him back in the 60s for the Avengers. And he came out of hibernation or retirement or whatever, and they had the whole backstory. See, they don't deal with any of that in this cartoon. This one is just straight punching Nazi action. So I guess this is like the previous adventures, the original adventures of Captain America, as opposed to the post-hibernation Captain America. Second episode's called The Origin of the Red Skull, and his origin is basically like he was a poor kid and a criminal back in his home country. It's never really specified that this is Germany and these are the Nazis and this is Hitler. Like, it's never really specified that way, but anyway, the Red Skull, his origin is like, yeah, he was a poor kid and a criminal and stuff, and then he was taken under the wing of the supreme leader of his country and given a suit, a costume that makes him look like the Red Skull. Doesn't give him any powers or anything like that. It's just, the origin of the Red Skull is he's a bad guy. Let's give him a skull mask. That's dumb. This one, I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. Honestly, Captain America's not my favorite superhero by any stretch of the imagination. I don't not like him. Captain America's always been really cheesy to me. And this one is like super patriotic and it's silly. And, being a Canadian, why would I be a fan of Captain America? It's not as good as the Spider-Man 1967 cartoon. Not nearly as good as that, because that had humor, that had, it had some crappy animation, but it had more colorful villains and superhero-y things going on, whereas this one, like I said, it's just a guy in red, white, and blue beating up Nazis, right? So there's not as much entertainment for me in this. Nazis are bad, okay? Yeah, you go Captain America, go beat him up. I just don't really care to watch that much. Also, one thing I noticed was about the Red Skull. It has the same voice as J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man cartoon. He has a very distinct voice, this guy, and I had to look it up because I was like, that's got to be the same guy. I was like, I know I've heard that voice before, and so I looked it up, and yes, it's the same guy. His name is Paul Kligman. He was also the voice of Rudolph's father in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He's got that distinctive voice, but as the Red Skull, he's got like a German accent on it. So yeah, so Captain America, the animated series. Yeah, I didn't care for it. It wasn't terrible. Just wasn't for me. Now, that's why it's hard for me to give a letter grade on something I just don't care about. I'll give it a C plus. Yeah, it was interesting in the beginning, just to see how the origin is played out on screen. It was okay. If you like Captain America, you might like this. It's not bad, and I mean, there's a few things like animation wise and story wise that are pretty stupid, and you can maybe laugh at it a little bit, but it's just kind of boring. And it's Captain America. Like I said, not the biggest fan, so it's not that bad. It's just boring. Sorry, Captain America. I let you down, Cap.